Welcome back. You're watching ET Insight right here on ET Now. India needs a massive $500 billion by 2015 for its infrastructure projects. And nearly half of that money will be used up for construction of roads and highways. So if the country is serious about meeting those ambitious targets, it needs private participation in a big way. What exactly can policymakers do to lure in more private money? Asha Gopalakrishnan finds out.
The story of India's roads and highways is taking a new turn. Private money is trickling into projects like this one. One of the biggest reasons for that is the fact that the structure of deals, particularly in the case of public-private partnerships, is changing. So while private participants put in the money and complete projects, it's the government that bears the long-term financial risk.
I think large amount of funding will have to be taken care of by the government. And then you will again be facing the same old issues in terms of escalation on the costs and things like that, and claims coming up due to idling charges and equipment idling and manpower idling. So all these risks are actually taken care of as far as the government is concerned when one decides to undertake the projects on PPP or a BOT basis.
Private players are now finding novel ways to raise money and manage the financial risks of such projects. For instance, IVRCL Assets and Holdings raised $250 million from IFCI as compulsorily convertible debentures for two of its special purpose vehicles, IVRCL Indore Gujarat Tollways and IVRCL Chengapalli Tollways. From the investor's point of view, an SPV makes more financial sense because the risks borne are project specific.
The SPV does not have a recourse to the parent in case there is any issues with the SPV, God forbid. Then the bankers will only have the option of restructuring the SPV's finances, and there will not be a need to draw upon the parent company. These are certain reasons why an SPV is normally required to do a work.
Because these gives us long-term, stable, strong returns, there are infrastructure funds who are happy to invest at those stages since all the initial contracting risks have been mitigated.
The good news is that the contribution of the private sector in road projects has risen from 4.8% in the 10th plan to 27.8% in the 11th plan. The government says that this is primarily because of favourable policy measures such as standardization of bidding documents, model concession agreements, launch of viability gap funding, restructuring of future road projects and the formulation of the new tolling policy 2008. India expects the private sector to contribute 44% of the total projected expense of $100 billion in the 12th plan. That's a huge expectation, and the government is doing all it can to ensure that the sector attracts enough money. For instance, in the budget this year, the finance minister permitted foreign institutional investors to invest $25 billion a year in unlisted bonds issued by infrastructure companies as against $5 billion earlier. These bonds have a minimum lock-in period of 3 years and are tradable during the lock-in period, but cannot be sold to domestic investors. The big question though is, are investors buying these ideas?
The infrastructure bonds are certainly something to look forward to. Also the procedures by which PE firms, private equity firms, can join special purpose vehicles and become bidders, as it were, right to the initial stage. That is a very welcome step.
A look at the deals in the past 4 months shows the rising investor interest. British construction companies have formed the British India Roads Group to ensure greater involvement of the UK highways construction industry in India's NHDP. Feedback Ventures has entered into a joint venture agreement with Portuguese toll road concessionaire and operator Brisa Auto Estrada de Portugal. Brisa is also reportedly entering into a long-term agreement with highway developers in India. Germany-based Bernard Ingenieur has won the consultancy contract for designing and preparing a detailed project report for 3 major road tunnels in Himachal Pradesh. SNC Lavalin Mauritius has picked up stake in KMC Group's SPV Raila Seema Expressway, which is building the 1,600 crore rupees stretch between Kadapa and Kurnool on NH18.
There is a fair amount of foreign interest. I think if we get the mega projects off the ground, which are 400 to 500 kilometer stretch projects, which are $1 billion plus, we will probably see more interest from the maybe the UK, France, and some of the other markets which have not yet participated in to the same extent.
The increasing private interest in the sector is also evident from the fact that NHAI has received a premium for 11 projects it awarded in the past few months. For instance, it received a premium of 126 crore rupees from Ashoka Buildcon for the 1,396 crore rupees Dankuni Kharagpur project in West Bengal. Similarly, the highest bidder for Barwa Adda Panagra project in Bengal offered 106 crore rupees premium against the expected premium of 5.5 crore rupees. Besides that, private players are also seeking lower grants from the government to win projects. For instance, the PPP Approval Committee or PPPAC had offered 24% grant to make the Patna Bhaktiyarpur project financially viable, but the successful bidder sought only 19.75% as grants. Similarly, the 375 crore rupees Piprakoti Motihari Roxol project went to a private developer with only 39.24% grant against the upper limit of 66% grant.
Could be two things. One is the development of expressway and collection of tolls, and they might be expecting to get the returns on the investment at a very faster rate. Another thing which can be considered as the side effects of the development of expressway is the development of townships and other things along the highways, which will give additional returns to the private developers.
That's the good news. The bad news is that investors are also wary of India's track record of prolonged delays in approvals and implementation of projects. So, many do not invest in companies with a single asset or with assets concentrating in a single state, as that increases the risks. And some funds invest in companies that have projects at different stages of development to mitigate risk. But private investments in the sector are necessary, not just for development, but also to ease the pressure on the exchequer. In the past 4 years, NHAI's borrowings in the form of issue of EC bonds have been on the rise. Increased private participation could lessen NHAI's burden in a big way. And so, India needs to make a concerted effort at making this sector attractive for private money.
So how exactly is the government looking to increase private participation? CP Joshi, the Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, answers that and a whole lot more right after this very short break. We'll come right back.